Here's a Ferris wheel problem, type 2. Question. A Ferris wheel has a diameter of 12 meters. Its center is 8 meters off the ground. Assume that you start from the mean height of the Ferris wheel and that your ride is 16 seconds. We're going to do two things. A, we're going to graph the function, and B, we're going to create an equation of the Ferris wheel's height with respect to time. Part A, the graph. So here we have a graph, and we need to find the 5 key critical points before we can draw a curved sinusoid for it. So read the question, and it says that the center is 8 meters off the ground, and you assume that you're going to start from the mean height. So you start at 0, 8. So plot your point. Then you make a quarter turn. That is 4 seconds later, you're going to be at the maximum height. You're going to be 14 meters above the ground. If you make a half turn, which is 8 seconds later, you're going to be back at 8, the mean position. And a 3/4 turn later, at 12 seconds, you're going to be at the bottom of the ride, namely 2 meters above the ground. And a full turn later, at 16 seconds, you're back where you started. You're at 8 meters above the ground. So let's draw a little curve through all of these 5 key critical points, like so. And just to reiterate the journey, let's follow along and keep this in mind. At time 0, you were at the mean, 8 meters above the ground. And then 4 seconds later, you are 14 meters above the ground. And then 8 seconds, halfway into the ride, where you're at is 8 meters above the ground. 3/4 turn later, which is 12 seconds, you're 2 meters above the ground. And a full turn later, you are back at the center of the wheel. So now let's do part B, which is create an equation for this graph. The amplitude is 12 divided by 2, which is 6. How did you know? Well, you look at the diameter. It says 12, and you know that the radius is half the diameter, so 12 divided by 2, is 6 meters. So the amplitude is 6. The K value is just simply the period divided by the 360 degrees divided by the period. So you got 360 divided by 16, which is 22.5. The phase shift in this case does not move left or right. There's no horizontal translation left or right. It's assumed that you started the mean, so 0 is your phase shift. And finally, what is our vertical displacement? You just take the maximum, add the minimum, and divide by 2. In this case, 14 plus 2 is 16, divided by 2 is 8. So you are displaced vertically by 8 meters above the ground. And that is indicated by this. This should have started at 0, 0, but it didn't. Instead, it started at 0, 8. So now putting these 4 key ideas together, your equation should look like this. Y equals sine bracket 22.5x bracket plus 8. We notice the amplitude is 6. The K value is 22.5. The phase shift doesn't exist. And the displacement is 8 meters. So follow this example when you're trying to do your other homework word problems, and follow more videos. Good luck with your future studies.